forgotten your name when you kicked the bitches out the group.
You didn't get along with her daddy. You didn't get along with her.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we won't go there for like she has a shot.
Seriously.
All right, but no, I'm gonna kick it over to you, my friend, because you actually got to see a pretty serious picture.
Yeah.
You were never really here.
You were never really here. Yeah. This is.
But you're here now.
I mean, I am.
Were you ever really here?
It's time will tell.
All
but
right,
this movie, I'm really was really excited to see. It debuted at Cannes last year, and it won Best Actor and Best Screenplay. Lynn Ramsey wrote and directed this sucker. She did a Ratcatcher, which is an excellent movie, and she did We Need to Talk About Kevin, about a mother having raised a school shooter and like her life after that. And so this kind of takes on the similar dark kind of twisted psyche movie and really cranks it up. And this stars Joaquin Phoenix as Joe, and Joe is a contract killer. More specifically, he is hired by well-to-do people to rescue their children. Sometimes they get kidnapped for whatever reason, and he is hired then to go in and return the girl and then dole out the deaths of whoever was captured.
Wait, pause real quick. Is this based on a true story?
I don't think so. No,
okay.
I hope not. This is it's the best way I can describe this movie. It's like watching a nervous breakdown happen. It's not like not like one of those movies where you have the contract killer like this immortal guy that can just run through people. It's very realistic in terms of like what type of people could be a contract killer, and it's like really. We keep seeing these flashes of like his past trauma, whether or not, and it comes at 3 different stages. You see him as a child, and it just like literally it just flashes like little brief like 2 to 3 second little flashes of like serious trauma, like him as a child being like suffocated with a piece of plastic and watching his mother get hit or something like that. And then another one is him as a soldier watching some kid getting shot. Then another one of him, like a job after he returns home, like watching all these dead bodies. So he has been traumatized.
He lives through all that and says, right. You know what? I want to do that for a living.
So what type of outlet do you have after that? You're probably a messed up guy. So you turn to.
You're not going to macrame.
Right. Yeah. You're not going to go work at a Staples or something. You're not going to be hanging out at Home Depot.
Excuse me, sir. Can you tell me where the toner is? I'll tell you about the toner. First, let me tell you about what toner means to me.
Yeah, no. So
right, you don't know the world before Xerox. I know.
This movie is heavy duty like that. So we start out with seeing him. He is finishing up a job. He's literally walking through an alley after leaving a building. He's wiping off blood from a hammer. And then all of a sudden you see some guy try to hit him over the head. He hits him over the head. He just turns around and he just bashes this guy face in, and then he walks away. Okay. And then as soon as he gets back, he goes into the guy that handles his money. He gets his money and he leaves, and then he gets an update that he needs to go and talk to the guy who basically hires him out. And he goes into this meeting and he's saying this state senator wants to talk to him. So he goes to talk to the state senator, and his daughter has been kidnapped, and all he has to go by is this address. And what he's familiar with these addresses is sometimes they take young girls and they put them in these places where they're going to be pimped out to have sex with these upper class disgusting people. So like Taken, kind of, yeah. So they hire this guy, and he rents a car, he goes and scopes it out, and then he goes in and saves this girl. And and that's not really giving much away, but while he's there doing that, things start to spiral out of control, and this giant conspiracy kind of opens up, and he is not yet able to figure out like who's pulling whose strings, how high this thing goes. Obviously, he knows it's dealing with a senator. It must go higher than that, and it does. And that's some of the mystery of the movie. Is so like,
please tell me this ends up being like Equalizer, where he starts off to save one girl, and then when the group of gangsters holding her won't let her go, he kills all of them. But then when he kills all of them, their overbosses send the entire mafia after him, so he kills all of them. No. When the entire mafia in the city dies, then the rest of the country mafia comes after him.
No, it's not that contrived like that. It's not like this, this Hollywood kind of like, oh, we got to send all the goons. Because awesome. It's more realistic in the sense that this is a guy who's not going to take out 16 guys at once. This is a guy that can handle a room full of people, and he's going to do it in the most brutal way possible. Like I said, his his means of killing and dispatching these people is with a hammer, literally walking up and smashing their faces and skulls into the hammer. To which sometimes you see, no, this is not like Denzel. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, you're 50, you've been out of the game for 10 years, you can just kill a room full of people in 16 seconds. No, it's
well,
this is fair, like
he was an autistic assassin.
Sure, but this is not that movie. Was what I'm saying. This is
it's not like the Three Stooges all in one man.
This
with
is
like
a
real world consequences.
A raw film about really a traumatized and fractured psyche of a man, really just trying to get through the day without having these awful flashbacks. And of course,
you said that a couple of times. How deep into it, into like his own psychosis, does it go?
Well, that's good because it doesn't go too deep. You just see and you know that this is a fractured guy and he's haunted by these things, but it doesn't go back and explain it. Because I think if it did and go back like, this is what happened to him, let me explain why he's like this, I think that would have been reductive of the film. I thought it'd been like trying to over-explain it. All you need to know is that this guy has lived through this stuff, and it just gives you flashes, like I said, just enough to know that this guy is really not all there. And at the same time, he's killing these people in this really brutal way, and it might be an honorable thing to doing to save these girls. Mm-hmm. You can take that away, but at the same time, like, this is a guy who's really taking the most brutal approach possible. Hey, man, and at the end of the day, he goes home to his mom, too. He lives with his mother. Like, he goes home and he's like taking care of his mom, and then this is like the worst case, the best worst case scenario of comic book guy. It's just like, he leave mother. I'm going to work now. But it's not like that. It doesn't play like it doesn't play him up as like a dopey whatever. It's just a guy like living and taking care of his mom, and then he goes and handles his business. It's not like, oh, I have like a mom. It doesn't have a complex. You know what I mean? It's not like that. He's just like a normal guy. He's trying to live a normal life, and he's just lived through some stuff, and now he gets hired out and he brutally murders people. And like I said, it gets caught up in this web of conspiracy, and the conspiracy gets bigger, and he's trying to figure it out, also keep himself sane. And it's really a fascinating watch. It's a fascinating character study.
Up for tons of awards.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like I said, it won Best Actor and Best Screenplay at the Cannes Film Festival last year.
Oh, it did win.
It did. One of the most prestigious film festivals in the world. Stars Joaquin Phoenix, directed by, and written by Lynn Ramsey, who's fantastic. Like I said, go check out her other movies, especially Ratcatcher. But yeah, I can't recommend this movie highly enough. It's great. It's playing at Coolidge right now, and I would definitely check it out.
All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah. Black Adam Willis. The movie is called You Were Never Really Here, told by a man who actually is really here. Wait,
believe it or
Adam,
not.
Where'd you go? All right, no thanks, man. Starring Joaquin Phoenix. Okay,
who's a monster right now? That guy's killing it.
Dude, he's got a lot to make up for with that crappy movie with the rapper and the stupid beard and stuff. All right, I'll never forgive him for killing Maximus. That's all I'm gonna say.
True. Yeah.
All right, so now I got to check out a movie that Adam, I know you are going to love. It is just a brilliant masterpiece, a masterwork, if you will.